Now, I know that this fact is of no interest to many of you, but the NFL playoffs start next weekend. My Baltimore Ravens will play the Pittsburgh Steelers in Baltimore on Saturday night, and I'll be watching the game with my whole family, as I have over the course of many years. I have successfully indoctrinated my kids into Raven fandom. I have to say, it's actually kind of difficult to brainwash your kids into caring about your favorite football team. At least I found that it is. This is a challenge that nobody tells you about. There are no parenting books about it. Slowly but surely, though, my kids have come into the fold. Though they still have a long way to go before they know what it's like to have their day actually ruined because the guys in a certain colored jersey scored fewer points than the guys in the other colored jersey. Maybe they'll get there this year. Maybe we can all experience the crushing heartbreak together when the Ravens inevitably lose by 3 points in the second round of the playoffs. It'll be a family bonding experience. This is what being a sports fan is all about. But there was another source of excitement in the NFL world this week. Monday was the day when the teams that didn't make the playoffs started firing their coaches, a day that over the years has been dubbed Black Monday. The New England Patriots certainly qualify as a bad team after winning only 4 games this season, so they fired their coach, a guy named Gerard Mayo, after 1 year coaching the team. Now, we talked about Gerard Mayo on this show actually almost exactly a year ago when he was originally hired, and he used his introductory press conference as an opportunity to deliver a rather incoherent speech about race. Let's watch that again.
I do see color because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person, I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always, for the most part, people are like, when they're young, they kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means. But what I would say is, no, I want you to be able to go up to those people and really understand those people. So it goes back to whatever it is, black, white, yellow, it really doesn't matter, but it does matter so we can try to fix a problem that we all know we have.
Whatever happens, black, white, disabled person, even someone with disabilities, I've always, for the most part, people are like, when you're young, you kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means. I'm just quoting him verbatim. Well, then maybe a younger person can translate that because a year later, I still have no idea what he was trying to say. I really don't. All I know is that he decided to somehow, in his own way, try to make his hiring about race. And so it's inevitable that his firing would also become a story about race. Now, Mayo himself, as far as I know, hasn't made that claim, at least not yet, but some race baiters in the media have piped up right on cue to announce that Mayo was actually fired for being black, not for being a really bad coach, which he is. MSNBC published an op-ed with this title, There's a double standard for black NFL coaches. Gerard Mayo's firing shows it. The article, written by somebody named Keith Reed, says this, quote, "The NFL has a history of giving lopsided opportunities to white male coaches. The short leash the Pats gave Mayo shows how far the league is from fulfilling its promises to do better at creating racial equity in its coaching corps. Mayo's termination is a reminder of how rarely black head coaches get fair shots at turning their teams around, assuming fairness is defined, at least in part, by getting more than a single season to make progress." Now, sure, if you define fairness as getting a second chance in an extremely high-paying job after utterly failing the first time around, but that's not how you should define fairness. Because when you're getting paid millions of dollars, you're expected to perform right away. You don't get a year-long runway to figure it out. And you probably won't get a second chance if you fail to figure it out. That's especially the case in football, which is a results-oriented business and always has been. You know what keeps me up at night? The state of our country. But at least I'm not tossing and turning because of my mattress anymore. That's right, folks. I'm talking about Helix Sleep. What makes Helix different is that they don't just sell you a random mattress. They actually customize and match you with the perfect one for your body and sleep style. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or somewhere in between, they've got you covered. Helix has a sleep quiz that they'll match you with. That'll match you with your perfect mattress in under 2 minutes so you can get better sleep and a better start to each day. And trust me, when you find the right match, you'll wonder how you ever slept on anything else. Right now is actually the perfect time to upgrade your sleep because Helix is offering an incredible deal. Go to helixsleep.com/Walsh to get 25% off site-wide plus 2 free dream pillows with any mattress purchase. That's helixsleep.com/Walsh for 25% off site-wide plus 2 free dream pillows with any mattress purchase. helixsleep.com/Walsh. All that anyone cares about is whether you perform. Players who don't perform get benched or cut. Doesn't matter if they're legends of the game. They can still get benched or cut. Coaches get fired. That's because football is still and will always be a ruthless meritocracy. That's why I love it. It's also why it's America's sport in my mind. But that didn't stop the race baiters from doing what they do best. Stephen A. Smith on ESPN also joined this chorus. Listen.
That's what this is about. This is about Mike Vrabel. That's who they wanted. No question about it. And he's a more seasoned, more experienced coach. I don't like this. They call it Black Friday Black Monday rather for a reason. This certainly typifies it. I don't know why it's not called White Monday. Doug Peterson got fired from Jacksonville. He deserved that firing. Gerard Mayo clearly was not given an opportunity, a lengthy enough opportunity, considering what Bill Belichick left him with from a talent perspective, considering the record, considering the way the team performed. He didn't help himself with some of the comments he made, calling the team soft and what have you, and having to retract statements, and we get all of that. But no matter what we can point to, at the end of the day, the folks in New England were turning against Gerard Mayo. We all know this. And I think it has something to do with the fact that Vrabel is available, and that's really what's going on here. They don't want to lose him, especially to a team like the New York Jets. They want to be in the running, and they can't do that with him as the head coach.
Now, the problem for the race baiters is that 5 head coaches have been fired in the NFL this season so far. Only one of them is black, 3 are white, and 1 is, I think, Lebanese or something. So now it's true that the other fired coaches had more than a season under their belts, though in most cases not much more than a season. So is it then the case that, as the MSNBC article claims, that black head coaches are more likely to get the axe after just 1 year on the job? Well, let's take a look. According to an article in The Athletic, over the past decade and a half, there have been 13 coaches fired after 1 season. By my count, 9 of the 13 are white, 4 are black. So that's more than twice as many white head coaches as black who were fired after 1 season. And one of them, Lovie Smith, was fired by the Houston Texans and replaced by another black coach. His replacement, D'Amico Ryans, went on to win his division and make the playoffs his first 2 years on the job. One of the other black head coaches on the list is Hugh Jackson, who was fired by the Raiders after 1 season in 2011. A few years later, he got another opportunity as a head coach of the Cleveland Browns, in this case. He coached, I think, 40 games for them and won 3 of them. He also tied once. So his overall head coaching record is 11-44-1. He is, statistically speaking, the worst NFL head coach since 1941. So since before the Super Bowl existed. So to review, while the media claims that black head coaches get a short leash and are fired more quickly than white head coaches, turns out that over the past 14 years, only 4 black head coaches have been fired after 1 season, while double that many white head coaches were fired after 1 season in the same time frame. At least one of them, it might be more, I didn't check, was replaced by another black coach. In fact, the longest tenured head coach in the NFL right now is black. Mike Tomlin of the Steelers has been their coach for 18 years. He also hasn't won a playoff game in almost a decade. He's 0-5 in the postseason since 2016, and he's about to be 0-6 after this weekend. And this is the league that allegedly is unfair to black coaches. The league where a black man is the longest tenured head coach in the league, despite a total lack of playoff success in nearly a decade, and where every one-and-done coach for the past 15 years or so, save 2, has been white. But, these are all just facts. And as we know, the race hustlers don't let pesky things like facts get in the way of the narrative, which is why Stephen A. Smith and his fellow race hustling sports commentators are once again today canceled. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.